Hello, everybody, and welcome to Facebook Live. My name's Bonner, and I work at ChildFund New Zealand. ChildFund is an organization that works with children all around the world to help them thrive by implementing projects aimed at improving education, healthcare, providing them with clean water, and implementing projects that help protect them. One of the things that we do as well is working in communities that are affected by disaster and affected by emergency and crisis. One of the communities is Luangwa, which is in Zambia, where there is a massive drought happening, affecting more than 2 million people in the country. ChildFund is responding, so you may have seen some things that we might have sent you in the mail, or you might have seen some things on our Facebook wall about the drought, because we are hoping to send $230,000 in response to the people who are living there. If you're just tuning in to our Facebook Live, I hope that you will participate in today's session by sharing the video and also commenting. I'm going to do my best to capture all of your feedback, to get all your questions so that we can share them. But while you're logging in and starting to listen to Marie's story, I would love it if you could just comment your name, where you're from, and if you're a ChildFund supporter, because it would be great to know that. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Marie Chan, who is my colleague at ChildFund New Zealand. And Marie just recently traveled to ChildFund Zambia to visit the country and to learn a little bit more about what your donations are doing in Zambia. So hey, Marie.
Hi, Bonner.
Thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing your experience, which I think would be amazing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do at ChildFund?
Okay, so I started at ChildFund about 8.5 years ago. I started as a temp in the finance department, and then I moved into fundraising, and now I'm a fundraising campaign manager for ChildFund.
And how did you get started at ChildFund? What prompted you to want to work for a charity?
I've really sort of got a soft spot for children, so I really wanted a job where I could feel that my efforts were benefiting children in need.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly why I think most people get into charity work, because they get to see what their passion and their life's work is actually doing in the lives of people around the world. And for you, you got to travel to Zambia. You just returned. What was that experience like?
God, it's just amazing. I've been wanting to go there for quite a long time, and Paul, our CEO, asked me if I wanted to go and visit one of our projects. Of course, I did want to, and then he asked me where I wanted to go. He said, "Oh, take some time to think about where you want to go," and I said, "I already know where I want to go." They said I want to go to Zambia, so.
And Marie, this
Yeah,
is your first time
it's been really
traveling
just
to.
amazing trip.
Yeah, this is your first time ever traveling to a ChildFund community, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it is.
what did you do what was the reason that you wanted to go? What was it about Zambia that made it? Yeah.
Yeah. There was really a long list of things that we went there for, but I suppose for me, for fundraising, I really needed to go and collect stories and photos and meet the people that live there and really see how their lives are affected by the drought, but also just what their life is like.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you got to see that, hey? You got to meet children and
Mm-hmm.
families, not only who were affected by drought, but also you met your sponsored child, didn't you?
Mm. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was a really something that I'll remember for a long time. It was really special to me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm.
Now, before we decided to do the Facebook Live, I was asking Marie to share with us some photos and things from her trip so that,
Mm,
um, some of the colleagues at ChildFund would see kind of what she experienced while she was there. So Marie's going to share those photos
mm,
tonight on the Facebook Live and just talk a little bit about each one and why they were impactful for her. And yeah, so if you don't mind, Marie, we can
mm.
just get started.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
sure.
just going to pull up the photos here. All right. So I've pulled up the
Mhm.
first photo.
Okay, so
So yeah.
this, yeah. Okay, so this is a photo of 9 mums and their babies, and this is at the health centre that Child Fund built. Before that, they had a very dilapidated and rundown health centre where they had to give birth. And it wasn't just a maternity health centre, it was a general health centre as well. So there was no privacy there, there's no running water, there's no power. Um, Ward, there's a general ward, there's power, there's water. Um, it's just been such a tremendous change for this. And these are 9 mums and babies that came out on a very hot day to meet us. And I thought maybe 3 might come, but 9 came, and 13 babies have been born there since February.
Wow.
So it's just, and they're all well and healthy. The health centre is so clean, and they've got special processes now to make sure that um, the mums in the maternity ward are separate from the rest, and that only dads can visit. And they've got very high standards of cleanliness.
Yeah.
Care they get is very similar to what we can expect in New Zealand. They have care at home as well. They have ladies that come and see how they're doing and help them out, just like a plunket nurse does. So we were very impressed with the new health centre. And then at the back of the health centre, they're building a new midwife house. So the midwife who we met is very experienced. And so he's going to have a house right near the health centre. So if somebody goes into labour in the middle of the night, he's right there.
Mm.
We met some dads and we asked them what difference the health centre meant to him, and they all said that they're really happy that their wives are really safe now giving birth. And they said that they've got power there now, because before they used to have to give birth in the dark if they had their baby at night. So it was just
Wow.
really wonderful to see that.
Did you actually talk to some of the mums?
Yeah, so I interviewed 2 of them. One of them was their first baby, and they were doing really well, and they planned to have more children. And another lady was her second child, and she, I think there was about 3 years between 2 of them, and she said she was planning to have 6 children.
Whoa.
So I was sort of quite surprised about that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, but it was really nice to see them.
That was actually in the health center that you took the photo?
This is outside. It's a covered area with like 3 sides are covered in these little chairs. So I think probably it's like a waiting area
Okay.
outside.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I think I remember it was last year that the fundraising, the appeal went out. We did it maybe around Mother's Day last year,
Mm,
I think. And now it's amazing to see
mm, mm,
something actually come out of it and to see like their lives completely change is amazing.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Okay, I'm going to move on
So
to
the
them.
next photo. So this side, the new maternity ward, and so there's 3 beds in here, and you can see the little cots at the end of the bed. They're very cute. And it just felt like a really nice, cozy place to, have wait after your baby's born. They probably don't stay there very long afterwards, but it looked like a really nice place, and I think anybody wouldn't be too worried about having their baby there.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really clean.
Yeah. So this is the second day. Um, I didn't even know on Monday, the first day we arrived, like when I was going to get to see my child. So I was so curious to know when, and so I could be prepared. So on the Tuesday, we met a few sponsored families, and I interviewed some and took photos. And then I went to visit my sponsored child. His name is Gift, and he's 11, and I sponsored him for 4 years. And I get letters, and updates every year from him. And he's just a very sweet boy. And the next photo is of his mum, and that's just me giving her a small Christmas gift. And all the neighbors were all had come, and they were all like surrounding the house opposite, and so everybody was so curious about what was going on. And so we just talked a little bit. They couldn't speak English, so we talked through a translator. She'd said how her husband was out fishing, um, and I told her that my husband was always fishing.
Hmm.
um, but it was a really lovely visit, and yeah, it'll be much nicer now when I write to him, because I'll know him more.
Yeah. I think you shared
Okay.
maybe last week with us about how um, letters from sponsors actually impact the lives of
Mm,
children. Did you see that, when you were in
yeah.
Zambia?
Yeah, definitely. Like, even with my child, I could see he felt very proud, and he felt confident, more confident, because he felt somebody cared for him.
Hmm.
And I've also met um, another sponsored child whose sponsor doesn't write at all for whatever reason they have. That's up to them. But she really felt, yeah, she really missed that connection with her sponsor. So I would just, recommend that, even if it's just a card or just a note, um, just to send something off to your sponsored child if you're a sponsor, because it really does lift them, and boost them, and give them encouragement, and yeah, makes them feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I also visited this family, and girl's name is Ruth, and she is sponsored by Doris, who's in our finance department. And Doris asked me to visit her and take her a little gift. Um, Doris's mum was a very nice, friendly lady, and she couldn't speak English either, but she had a lot to say. And the on talking to her, she was part of a goats program, so a few years ago, and now she's got quite a big herd of goats. And so I think they are quite well off because of the goats. They can drink the milk. She said that she can sell a goat if they need anything for their
Hmm.
family's needs. And so, yeah, I could see that those farm animals really made a difference to them.
Did you see a lot of like
Yeah.
livestock around?
There are a lot of goats around, but
Okay.
when I asked somebody about that, they said that they knew who owned every goat. So it wasn't like there were wild goats everywhere, that the goats belonged to a family, and that they probably had come from ChildFund through Gifts That Grow.
Okay.
So I really did help, a lot of families. Mm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so now I didn't know at the beginning of this trip that we were going to be handing over 2 classroom blocks and 2 teachers' classrooms. I knew that we were going to visit them because they were on the list, but I didn't know there was going to be any sort of a ceremony. So this is a group in Domby Primary School, and it's actually not a school yet because it's a brand new classroom block that ChildFund New Zealand supporters have just paid for, and it's just been completed. And these are some parents, I would say, from the community who were in front of our car. They waited for us by the road, and they danced and sang all the way up the driveway. It
Can you
was
just
just
give a little
like,
example of what
you
the
know,
dancing was
nothing.
like, Marie? Or I'm just joking. You don't have to do
It was
that.
40 something degrees. Yeah, I know. I know. We did have to do some dancing, but um, they were just so happy for the improvements that ChildFund has made to their community, and now their children won't have to walk like 6 kilometres it is to the nearest
Wow.
school. And um, there's a lot of wildlife conflict in the area, because actually very near the school is a animal corridor. So there have been elephants, from time to time using that corridor to get to the river. So this school means that the children will be safer because they don't have to walk so far to the next school. Um, and so the next photo is once we got to the very top of the driveway and we entered the school, a whole lot of children and more mums came out, and they were laughing, laughing and cheering and describe, how amazing it was. But it made you feel like you were royalty. And but I did have to remember that I was only there because of all the sponsors and donors that have actually put their money into this project. And I was just there I was just there on your behalf. And so the people just really wanted to show their appreciation to us and to everything that ChildFund has done for them. um, and yeah, it was just amazing to see how much they appreciated what we do.
Yeah. They look quite happy
Mm.
as well.
Yeah, yeah, they were they were very happy. Mm. So the next picture is at the Chimichengo preschool. And so this was built by ChildFund New Zealand supporters. And before there was a classroom, this preschool was under a tree. Some of you might remember that story. And during this celebration of opening the classroom block, they talked about the tree, and they showed us the tree, and there's a plaque on the tree where the preschoolers used to get together. And they were just so proud and happy that now they've got a classroom, and they can have a proper preschool teacher and not just a volunteer from the community. So that was a really nice and happy, bright classroom.
Really sweet.
And so
I
the
was
next
thinking
picture
about how
is
I would love to have a mural like that on the school that I went to school, because it's so
yeah.
cheery, it's really cool.
Mm, mm. So the next picture is the children at school. They all get a lunch. So even if their parents don't have very much food at home, especially now that there's a drought, they get a really good lunch. And I saw it, and it was very similar to staying. So it was not anything that you wouldn't want to eat. It was a really nutritious and tasty lunch. So I'm sure they really appreciate having that lunch at school.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Your video cut out a little bit, so I think you said that it's similar food to at the hotel where you're
Okay.
staying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. What
Mm-hmm.
was it? What was the meal?
So um, it was nashima. So that is similar to mashed potato, but it's made with maize, but it's a little bit more firmer than potato. But I like it better than mashed potato. It was very tasty,
Mm,
and sort of a green vegetable, and you could have a chop of some sort, or fish or something like that.
okay,
And so that was our lunch and our dinner every day.
nice. Okay. And you can totally
Hmm.
see in the picture how dry it is. It's totally
Yeah,
dusty.
definitely. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm, yeah. So I didn't know until till the moment that I was actually opening the classroom block and that my name was on this plaque. And until the curtain opened and I saw my name, and I was like, oh, nobody told me. It's like apparently Cornelda, who was traveling with me, was supposed to tell me that, to warn me that I was doing this, but she decided not to tell me. So it was just such a big surprise, but it was just such a wonderful day. And the people in the photo, so on my far right, Senior Chief Mbaruma, and then next to him is Chief Mbuka, and Chief Mbuka is the chief where the school was, the classroom was built, and where the school is. So he's very happy, and a
Hmm.
lot of our projects just happen to have been in his area lately. So he's got a very well. And on my other side is the district commissioner of Luangwa, and he was a really nice, friendly man, and so he knows exactly every single project that has been built, or that ChildFund has been a part of. He listed every single thing that was had all the improvements that have happened to Luangwa because of ChildFund. So
Hmm. Wow.
everybody is so proud of their area, and just so thankful to ChildFund and ChildFund supporters for
Wow.
caring about them, and for thinking about them so far away. And yeah, they're very grateful and thankful.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I could see on the plaque there, commissioned by Marie Chan. So that must have been a moment, hey, for you?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it
cool.
was just amazing. I just can't describe it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. So the last photo is just a photo I took from the car. So it just shows just where we're living, and all those things standing up at the back are holding charcoal. So they're selling them at the side of the road, and to make the charcoal, they need to burn down trees. So this has been happening for a little while now, since the drought is probably past its second season now. So people have got very few ways to make any income. So unfortunately, they have been burning trees and making charcoal because it's a cheap way to to start their fires, because they have to eat. And unfortunately, that's what's been happening. So um, hopefully, when the rains come and there's a really good season, they will be able to get back growing their own food and vegetables, and they won't have to resort to this sort of
Hmm.
thing.
Wow.
And yeah.
Again, look at how dry the picture is. It's just like
Mm,
the the
yeah.
soil just looks like sand.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the rains are sort of due now. They've had a very little amount so far, but apparently they are expecting a normal to above normal amount of rain. So by the time they plant their new seeds, it will sort of be March before they actually see the benefit. So they really still need our help for quite a few more months.
Yeah.
So this year's Gifts That Grow has got products that you can purchase to help the people of Luangwa, and so we can help them with emergency food. They have had some emergency food, but they're going to need more right up to March. So we really need to keep on helping them.
Yeah. And it's really
Mm,
hard to imagine what the scale of this is. Imagine 2 million people. That's the size,
mm,
that's more than the people who live in Auckland that are affected by this drought. So it's quite
mm,
significant. I think
yeah.
people don't realize kind of what their donations will actually do. But even I'm just looking right here at the gift catalog, there are these food and recovery packs for $24, and you might not think that $24 will do very much, but I think in Zambia it will go quite far.
Mm,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I think that, yeah, for anybody who's interested in donating, if you haven't received a Gifts That Grow catalog in the mail this year, we'd be happy to send you a copy. Be sure to give us a call. I'll put the number on the comments below, and also I will share the link. It is childfund.org.nz, and we can make sure that you get a copy, or you can actually buy gifts online right now. They're also really excellent gifts for your family and friends, for those people that are maybe hard to buy for, or you don't know what. But yeah, anyway, so that's good. If for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Marie Chan, who works in our fundraising team here at ChildFund, and she just was sharing with us about her trip to Zambia, all of the amazing experiences that she had. There was a maternal health center, there was a new school block with her name on it. But just really the exciting thing is to see that all of the hard work isn't in vain. The children and the families that are living there are really, their lives are changed as a result of some of these. Maybe it feels like a small little donation, but it is changing a life. So, I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to share, Marie, about your trip?
Um, just that the people really do appreciate every bit of support that they get, because they have so little. So, you know, anything is a lot to them. And some people that I spoke to, a teacher there, he couldn't understand why people in New Zealand who live so far away from them, why they care about them, why do they help them. And he actually sort of said that he would love to come to New Zealand to meet the sponsors and meet the supporters and ask them why, because he just couldn't understand it. So yeah, it's a really great thing, to be part of it.
Would you go back, Marie?
Oh, I'd love to go back,
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
because our so full that we really didn't have time to sort of look around or see any wild animals, or so I'd love to have a few extra days next time to do something like that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Marie. It sounded like an amazing experience. I know some of our supporters have actually traveled to Zambia, to some of the other communities where ChildFund works. If you've never heard about ChildFund, or you've never heard about sponsoring a child, be sure to check out our website. Be sure to look online and see all of the amazing ways that you can help children around the world to thrive. Be sure to give us a call. There's plenty of opportunities for you to kind of get in touch with us and learn more about our work. We definitely need your support, especially at this time of year, and especially in Zambia, where people are suffering from drought. Please, if you can do anything tonight, is just check out the website and see how you can make a difference. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have any comments, be sure to include them in the description below, and we will definitely answer them, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, whenever you leave the comments, and we will answer. And I think that's it for tonight. We will be doing this more often, so if you have any questions about things that you would like live streamed or videos about, or any questions that you want answered on our next video, include them in the comments below, and we will try to make videos for all of those things. I think this was a great first one. So thank you again, Marie, for stepping outside your comfort zone and doing this Facebook live chat. I think it was really cool. So good night, everybody, and talk to you next time.
Thank you.